What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the 9th studio album by country recording artist Blake Shelton. The new one is called If I'm Honest. I've been listening to Blake Shelton off and on over the years. I had a falling out with the genre of country just for a long time just because I got into all this new music that I thought was all cool and rebellious and I wanted to disown my past, and I guess growing up, because I was kind of like forced to only listen to like country, Christian, that sort of music, and I wanted to stay far away from that, but I came back to it over the years, and while I don't spend a ton of time listening to country music, Blake Shelton is one of those ones that I occasionally would drift back to from time to time. Austin, his debut single, was the song that I guess got me into him. Over the years, he's maintained a lot of success. He's still a coach on the popular NBC singing contest, The Voice, and he's kept his name in the spotlight as a result of that, and of course his new high-profile relationship with Gwen Stefani, the lead singer of No Doubt, and of course a popular solo artist in and of herself. I think that drama is kind of what fueled this record, and it feels like they tried to captivate and play on that a little bit too much. We're harping on a similar subject, and it's just kind of the middle of the record that really feels quite tedious to me, to be quite honest. It starts off strong. It starts off with those big old country roots that aren't amazing by any means, but then it kind of starts drifting back towards these similar themes where it's like the writers, they knew about this relationship. Obviously Blake Shelton not writing his own songs here, but still people writing for him based on what's going on in his life, drawing inspiration as a result of that. And we get songs like She's Got Away with Words, which apparently Blake Shelton had on hold long before his divorce from other country star Miranda Lambert, but still kind of interesting considering all of the allegations that are thrown towards both Blake and Miranda. His side of things, is he saying that she cheated? No, not necessarily. I feel like I agree with Blake on this one, saying every country artist uses these cheating songs and everybody likes to hear them and that sort of thing, so I can agree with him here, and I think that this is a pretty clever song. Not necessarily like genius or anything like that, not by any means, nothing on this record. If you come to country music, especially mainstream country, looking for genius, look the other way. I'm looking for something a little bit more entertaining, maybe occasionally a connection on like a relationship style level or a relatable level. She's Got Away with Words, I guess, does a pretty good job at being a smarter country song. I mean, they have a history of doing these things over the years in country music that like take a play off of like one phrase and turn it into something else, and She's Got Away with Words is built off of that. I remember the Tim McGraw song, Back When a Hoe Was a Hoe. Think about that and then maybe apply it here. I think it's still applicable. Unfortunately, we get bogged down over the next couple of songs with relationship stuff that just feels more like unnecessary drama and venting that's going in circles. I mean, we start off the record on pretty high notes, straight out of Cold Beer. Definitely a fun song. I love how hard-hitting that chorus is. Instantly gets stuck in your head. Classic country groove. Loving kind of like the instrumentation on that one. It just feels like it's definitely true to the roots country with a few extra twists, and I could say similar things for a couple of other songs, and we'll get to that momentarily. But once we get to that section where I'm talking about things start to kind of fall a little bit, we get back-to-back tracks, Bet You Still Think About Me, and Every Time I Hear That Song. And then Every Time I Hear That Song, we just got out of a track that was all about like thinking about your ex, reflecting like you're in this new relationship now, but I know you're still thinking about me. And then in Every Time I Hear This Song, you're saying that, yeah, I still think about you. Writers, stop beating us over the head with it. And Blake, come on, man, like back-to-back tracks saying essentially the same thing. We get it. You still think about your ex even though you're in this new relationship. A lot of people are being quite critical of the collaboration with new girlfriend Gwen Stefani, and I actually say it's one of the most enjoyable tracks on this record. I don't think it's amazing or truly spectacular, but their voices do suit each other quite well. I heard this performed at the Billboard Music Awards, and while not quite as strong as the studio version, Gwen felt a little bit off on the harmonies on that one. It's still a nice duet on the album version here. There's a track from the Angry Birds movie that worked its way onto If I'm Honest, and that song is called Friends, and I kind of like the plucky feel of that song, and even though some of the lyrics are quite gimmicky, obviously trying to fit fit in, like birds of a feather, angry birds. It's still an enjoyable track, talking about having each other's backs. There's a couple of surprisingly effective relationship songs towards the end of this record. I think him and Gwen Stefani have made it a point to kind of focus on the positive in the media, and they've made it a point to kind of harp on that. And there's a couple of tracks that stick with that theme. A Guy with a Girl, just talking about a guy wanting to show off this new relationship that he's found and how proud he is to maybe take her to a party or whatever it might be. And One Night Girl, another one with a misleading track. You know, you might think like, oh, a one night stand or something like that, and he's essentially saying here, I couldn't possibly just do this for one night. We're gonna take our time and see what happens because I'm into you. I don't want you to think that I'm saying that this record totally strays from what country music is doing in its current direction and its current form, because there are new things tried that Blake and his producers, I guess, decided on. Came Here to Forget, the lead single, definitely showcases that, and I enjoyed that track. I didn't at first, but it's grown on me. I don't like that thing that country singers do where they kind of hold out the syllables. Keep singing along. It gets annoying, but if I'm honest, it's grown on me a whole lot, and I really like the chorus on that track especially. Another song that I'm really enjoying towards the end of this record that has totally surprised me, the song Green. It's right near the end of the record. I think some people are going to overlook it, especially if you don't listen to the full record. You're just listening to some of the singles or some of the ones that are generating the most buzz, but this is one of those tracks that just seems like a good old-fashioned country jam that you might have heard in the early 2000s. He's talking about how he was green before green was a thing, like going green, saving the environment. And he's talking about his tractor, his farm, and it's just kind of funny. It made me laugh a little bit, and it reminded me of my childhood, and whenever I can reconnect on a level like that, I definitely enjoy that. And obviously, the track that closes out this album is doing that for me as well. Save Your Shadow, being a Christian myself, definitely something that I connect with. It's a nice reminder. We go from the high of those greater tracks down to the more mediocre tracks like It Ain't Easy, which I just find more mediocre and bland. I don't really care for the chorus on that track at all. Then down to the pits, the absolute lows of Doing It to Country Songs featuring the Oak Ridge Boys. That's just dumb country at its heart. That's the reason why I don't listen to like Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan. It gives country a bad name, and I just cannot stand this track. It's so ludicrous. It's just, it doesn't fit in with this album at all. And Doing It to Country Songs just thinks it's clever. That's the worst part. If I'm honest, is a pretty good reflection of where Blake Shelton is at in his career. There's definitely some more authentic sounding country, some newer sounds that are still pretty good as well. I don't think it's gonna please everyone. There's gonna be people that are just pissed off, but if you're pissed off about this, just remember that Florida Georgia Line are releasing songs like Holy, and holy shit, I don't even know what to tell you. Blake Shelton beating that out of the water any day. Not amazing by any means, but I'm going to go with a light 3.5, strong 3 on this thing for If I'm Honest, the 9th studio album by country recording artist Blake Shelton. Be honest with me. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Smash the like button while you're here, and maybe if you're curious, check out that top link in the description down below. Support me on Patreon. Help the videos keep coming. Thanks so much for all the support. Thanks for 35,000 subscribers. I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.